on?
When a guy recorded this clip and posted it online, he had no idea what he had witnessed. Looking out his apartment window, he saw this giant beam of light shine and strike on the ground. People were scared out of their minds, having no idea what was upon them. Although everyone remained safe, netizens thought there was an extraterrestrial craft trying to invade our Earth. Others just chalked it up to bad weather. Well, that seems unlikely, as lightning strikes aren't that precise. What do you think? Crystal Cove. In the middle of the barren desert of Nevada, a tourist captured this divine object. Now, of course, I initially took this with a grain of salt. You would too. It could just be the lens flare, but the more you watch, the clearer it becomes. It's something else. Plus, you can even see the shadow beneath it, which means whatever this glowing thing is, it's got to have enough material presence to be tangible. Some claim this is a divine being that's materializing, like an angel, while others think this could just be a miracle that's got no explanation. Bright beam.
What the government's not showing us. Just take a look at this.
This peaceful night sky was interrupted by this blindingly bright beam of light that seemed to come down from the sky. It lit up the whole sky before fading out and completely disappearing. The clip left everyone on the internet unsettled as they tried to figure out what could have caused this giant flash. Some suspected alien activity, others thought it could be a military operation or a malfunction in the electricity wires. The truth behind the flash was never revealed, as not even local authorities put out any word about it.
This light coming down from the sky is... what is it?
Spirulina. Okay, I've seen this a couple of times, and I'm still confused about what it could be. You see, I initially thought this was a fireball, or even a meteor, but if either one of those had come way too close to the surface, we'd be seeing a much more stronger reaction in the audience than...
Do you know what it means to disappear into nothingness?
Here. Then, I thought it was a hologram, but then again, it wouldn't have disappeared behind the building like that. And if it is something alien, how come everyone's so relaxed? It's like this keeps happening, and they're pretty much used to it. Red cloud. The sky over Bursa, Turkey became the stage for this extraordinary sight. A gigantic red cloud took over and left everyone in shock. Locals thought it looked like a giant saucer spaceship and suggested it could be there to provide a cover for alien activity. But as the clip went viral, someone revealed the truth behind the sight. And it turns out this was a giant lenticular cloud with a red hue to it. Farm lightning. Now, let's take a look at what this farmer saw on his farm. While out to take a look around his fields, he saw suddenly a bright yellow light flash down on the ground, like a spotlight. The light left behind a puff of smoke, and then suddenly disappeared. The clip was claimed to be an alien's attempt on making a crop circle. Netizens thought it might be aliens' way of communicating with us. But as this one right here got caught, so there was no way of proving it was actually extraterrestrial interference. Two suns. Out on a cruise trip in the open sea, this group saw something that left them completely confused. A giant orange circle shining bright. You might think it's the sun, but wait till the guy pans the camera around, and there it is. The sun's on the other side. Then, what's that giant circle? According to a famous online theory, this could be the second sun, an artificial sun that scientists have been working on. So, do you think it's the result of a scientific experiment, or something far more bizarre was at play here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. NYC UFO.
Yo, it's a UFO.
Residents of NYC looked up to the night sky and saw this. A massive object seemed to be cloaked behind the clouds. As its lights shined through, it became clear that it was any regular craft, but a giant one. Not many on the street seemed to notice the sight. However, when the clips went viral, people thought maybe aliens were starting their ascent with the world's busiest cities.
Yo, it's a UFO.
Glowing portal. Have a look at another alleged portal. While driving by Houston, Texas, a guy saw this strange sight in the sky and couldn't believe his eyes, thinking alien ships were really out there, not only drifting through our skies, but are also using it as their portal transportation. The zoomed-in version showed the blue glow turned into a gateway. I still have my doubts, but what do you think of this? Sky glow. This clip from Australia has left everyone questioning the reality they believed in. Apparently, there was a bizarre blue glow shining in the sky. By the looks of it, it seemed like the glow was coming out of a window. But where was the window in the sky? Folks thought there was a massive spaceship hiding behind the clouds. There was also the theory of our reality being a computer-controlled simulation. But I'd like to know what you think of this. Honolulu's mystery. 2 weeks ago, tourists and residents in Honolulu were startled at the sight of bright blue discs rising above from the shore. With a slight neon-like appearance and clearly glowing from the distance, these discs seemed to have popped out of nowhere. Or maybe that's how we're seeing it because of the angle, and continue to hover above the shore, moving in unison, as if they all had something planned. Now, it's easy to say these are just drones, and that's what I'm thinking too. But some are convinced this is Project Bluebeam, an evil program that's going to use holograms and devices like these to fool people. Sky circle. A guy out at night saw this oddly giant circle in the sky as it stayed completely still in the sky. The guy caught the sight on camera and posted the clip online. As the clip circulated among netizens, they speculated that it was an interdimensional portal open. But the question was, who was using this portal? Aliens, time travelers, UFOs, or some other creatures? The bad weather provided the perfect cover for it to go unnoticed by most. Whoever this alleged portal was transporting, you won't know for now. Russian Stargate. You might have heard about Stargate, a name for portals to another dimension, believed to be planted all over the world. For a long, long time, the idea about Stargate was merely just a myth. But after what we're seeing, ooh boy, it seems like one Stargate isn't only stationed over the Black Sea, but it's fully functional too. The glowing is apparently what happens when someone's just recently crossed dimensions. Which leaves one question. Did some alien creature come into our dimension, or did one of us go to an alien world? Orb oddity.
Das ist kein Riesenrad, das ist im Wasser drinne.
Out in the distance, a beachgoer captured something strange. A bright orb floating over the ocean just a couple of miles away. Initially, you'd think it was some sort of ship or something like that, but an orb-shaped one? Come on, that can't really be the case. It could be one of those weird transparent balls people float in, but then again, it's too far from the shore and could be life-threatening, so I'm going to scrap that theory. Squadron control. A couple of weeks ago, multiple residents in Miami, USA, spotted this unusual squadron floating over the area. Now, since this looks intimidating right away, people try to calm their nerves, as if trying to convince themselves that this was just an airplane fleet or some sort of projection. But come on, how do you look at that and not figure out the world's already hosting aliens? To me, this looks like an alien UFO squadron plain as day, and if they're getting bold enough to show themselves in the middle of the day, let's just say, we're not as safe as we think. Sky sight. What are you to do when you see something like this in the sky? A local in India found a bizarre circular cloud in the sky. As he recorded the footage, he spotted a small, dark orb flying near the cloud, and there appeared to be lightning going on in the cloud. The cry sparked a lot of speculation online, where many netizens thought it looked like it was a portal open in the sky, and that orb was a spaceship traveling through dimensions. However, with no evidence to prove the claims, the site remained unidentified. Scarlet's touch.
What is that?
It's one thing to see something bright and red scouring over your neighborhood at night, and it's another when it begins to emit some sort of beam. Surely, if this was something that we're responsible for, the homeowners would have already sued them to oblivion. But considering this object not only managed to stay unafflicted, but was even messing with the weather as if it could control it, something's definitely amiss. The video has prompted thoughts about secret government projects, since this was taken in Austin, Texas. But that's all there is that we know.
My God.
Green laser. What is this green glow in the sky with a beam of green laser pouring down on the ground? Recorded in Germany, this clip became an online sensation, as many UFO enthusiasts thought it might be aliens trying to contact us. Some were skeptical, saying it might be someone from the ground using a laser. So as of now, the truth behind this bizarre sight has remained hidden. In another incident, a guy driving down a road came across something very similar to what we just saw. The sky was sporting a
It's been 20 years since the supernova blast hit our colonies. Our people have been facing hell ever since. Co-Terminal took advantage of the disaster to invade many of our planets. And the infamous scavenger pirates have torn apart our homeland. Yet, we have never abandoned hope. The great leader, Andolini, continues to guide our republic. In the 5th five-year plan, you, Commander, have been selected as a Republic contractor. Your space armada shall champion the human race to take back our colonies. The Republic has reached an agreement with Cosmo Tycoon. A space station joint rescue project is now underway. A brand new future awaits. Wake up, Commander! Our Republic needs your...
a green glow with a beam coming down. Were these aliens scanning our grounds to make a planned entrance? Or something else was at play here? I'll let you be the judge of that. The mothership. It seems like Star Wars isn't the only one to have a mothership, because one just appeared over Hawaii, and it's infuriating how nobody's paying much attention to it. But the weirdest part about seeing this one is certainly the way it's just too close to the ocean. Perhaps whoever filmed it missed the part where it emerged from the ocean. Crazy. But the ocean would be the perfect place to have a secret alien hideout, wouldn't it? Now, of course, many are doubting its authenticity, because there's been too much silence over this. But maybe that's exactly why nobody's saying anything, because something much more suspicious is going on. Jetpack Man.
Has the mystery of those jetpack sightings near Los Angeles International Airport finally been solved?
Back in November 2021, bizarre sightings in the sky opened up a FBI investigation when pilots flying near Los Angeles International Airport spotted a humanoid figure flying high in the sky. At first, they thought it looked like the character Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas. The clip of what seemed to be a person flying up to 6,000 feet went viral, with many speculating about possible alien activity. The agencies investigating gave a theory that pilots may have seen balloons instead of jetpacks. From all 3 sightings reported by pilots in 2020, there's been no conclusive evidence. pansy cloud. A very strange clip turned up on the internet and left everyone shocked. The sky featured a giant hand, complete with 5 pointed fingers and circles on its tips. The hand looked like a human's, but not quite. The clip caused a lot of trouble online, as some thought it was a divine sighting in the sky, while skeptics suggested it could be a natural sky phenomenon. Although it seemed pretty odd for a sky phenomenon, as clouds don't make these perfect shapes in the sky, what else could it be? A sign from some alien civilization, or just nature hard at work? Spiky object. A few years ago, this video, taken in Mexico, showed a mysterious object hovering in the sky. Found outside a store, the workers came out and started recording. The strange flying star object with spikes just stood still in the sky. The video quickly became popular online, with people debating what it could be. Some thought it was just a strange-looking balloon, while others believed it might be something from another world. The idea of unknown beings observing our planet sounds fascinating, but it can be frightening, as we have no clue what we could be dealing with, and how things might play out. UFO vs. jets. Now let's take a look at what a strife between earthly jets and otherworldly UFOs will look like. This clip seemed to have captured a saucer-shaped UFO being chased by a jet. No one knows how this clip was recorded, probably from another jet. Netizens suggested that it was an alien ship in our airspace, and as the authorities got the news, they tailed it to get to the bottom of the situation. I, for once, really like to know what these saucers are, how they operate, and why they are all over our skies. Blinking object. Locals in this Argentinian town were in for a spooky surprise. As the night was filled with bizarre sounds from outside, a guy went out and saw this. A bizarre orb hovered in the air and was beaming bright white light. Not only that, there were also eerie sounds coming from it. As the streetlights nearby blinked, the guy thought this object was behind all the commotion. If this was an otherworldly object, it's got some guts to be so loud and bright in the middle of the night. People thought the craft was malfunctioning, but when no word about it went around, locals thought it might just be a prank. Cloacapedia. You ever just feel like you're being watched but can't really see anyone there? Well, what if somebody really is watching from above, but we're just unable to see them? Scary, right? Well, then you won't like what one Mexican UFO enthusiast captured. Feeling like he was clearly being watched, he set up an infrared camera over a hill and managed to capture the silhouette of some aircraft that the human eye can't see. Now the thing is, this could very well be a spy plane, but wouldn't it be detected on a radar? Perhaps, as crazy as it sounds, it could be a UFO cloaking itself to spy on us. Draconian flight. Dragons. They're a thing of myths, right? Or maybe, just maybe, they did exist. After all, those stories must have come from somewhere. And perhaps these dragons were driven out of Earth, either by ancient humans or by fear itself, and chose to live in the skies. If you think about it, dragons living in the skies isn't really a strange idea, especially since we don't know what's going on up there. But it looks like this dragon slipped up and ended up being captured.
From a unique force of nature, the black bee from Western Island, the new Abbé Royale Rich Cream, clinical honey.
But you know what? I'm just glad it's flying up. If it were coming down, things would be completely different. Horseback ride. Is it a guy on a horseback ride flying in the sky? This sight was captured by a local in Paris, France, and caused a lot of frenzy online. As people tried to figure out what it was, one of the most popular theories was that this was actually a sighting of the horsemen of the apocalypse, and a big destruction was on its way. But when nothing seemingly bad happened after the sighting, people thought it was either a prank or someone just wanted global attention.
kid.
Roswell's discovery. The Roswell UFO incident is one of the most talked about and debated events in modern history. In the summer of 1947, it's said that a UFO crashed near Roswell, New Mexico. On July 8th, the Roswell Army Airfield released a statement claiming they had recovered a flying disc from a local ranch. But just hours later, they changed their story. Since then, many have wondered, what really happened? Well, what if the UFO was escorted to the sea, so would it be able to make a quick getaway? This video is the alleged proof that the government really was shaking hands with the aliens. But why? That's something we've yet to find out. On the roof.
Yo, I think we're seeing some aliens.
When a guy went touring the city, he wasn't expecting to come across an otherworldly sight. On the roof of the White House, right in front of him, there was a strange, thin figure standing there, moving in a very bizarre way. It didn't look like a human. Was it an alien in the president's residence? Netizens believe this was proof that our government was in contact with the otherworldly, and were keeping it under wraps. What's your take on this?
Yo, I think we're seeing some aliens.
Disastrous plume. Waking up to something like this must make anyone think they've stumbled upon the apocalypse. And as smoky as it looks, an orange plume like this, appearing out of nowhere, is definitely something that's bound to cause trouble. And that's exactly what happened. Although unidentified, people did figure out whatever this was. It was pretty unhealthy to take in. Even if it's just an industrial reaction, the list of chemicals that would make that orange color is dangerous. And if it's something else, help. Squid UFO. This giant squid-shaped UFO floating through the air was seen by many and caused a lot of debate online. As this lonely object swiftly went through the air, it looked like it was on a mission. Internet folks had a lot to say about this bizarre-looking object. Some suspected it to be an alien intervention, others suggested it could be a balloon or some other earthly object. But if I'm being honest, it doesn't look like it belongs to our world. What do you think? Sphinx's trouble. Speaking of Project Bluebeam, how exactly would it work? Some think a secret elite force is already working to fool us, and are allegedly doing it all using the ocean. You see, somewhere in the depths, there are rumors of a secret base that's experimenting with holograms and stuff like that. Probably why we're seeing the Sphinx, and now and then some naval and aircrafts travel there to plan further. Or maybe this is all just humbug, and this is just an alien spaceship. But it's definitely weird either way. Flying humanoid.
Yeah. Holy look at that!
Humanoid balloons and alleged figures flying high above seem to be the new norm in the sky. While traveling to a small Switzerland town of Kandersteg, a group of friends found this human-like figure flying over the hills. Stunned by the unusual sight, they recorded it on camera and posted it online, starting a frenzy of theories. While some said it was a special human showing off their superpowers, others had ideas that it might be an otherworldly entity. Its true identity? Well, it has remained a mystery.
Trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Gray plume. A guy found this weird gray plume hanging in the sky. Is it only me, or does it look like a stuck spot in the sky? This little detail led many people to think those claims of our sky being a simulation were actually true. Do you think this gray spot was a glitch in our sky, or could it be something we have no idea about? Well, the answer remains eluded for now. Sky Sailor. Out in the middle of nowhere, a ship camera caught something unsettling. to say the least. In the distance stood another ship, shining out some sort of beam in the sky. But that's not the surprising part. Look a little above, and you'll see there's a much larger ship in the sky. That's right, and one that clearly doesn't belong to any government in the world. Seeing an alien ship is shocking enough, but considering this happened in the remote sea, it seems like aliens are collaborating with someone on Earth. What for? We won't know for a while, but it's definitely something spooky. Winged craft.
Want to play the most profitable class? Then you must choose Ninja. Pull 3 to 4 groups of monsters, use moon dance, maneuver and position, set fire and loop endlessly. After the 3rd job change, choose Mystic Spy, high burst damage, stack debuffs, effortlessly take down bosses as free-to-play player. Grand Fantasia Origin.
Cuando en Onda nos preguntan cómo hemos llegado a ser híbridos tecnológicamente tan avanzados, la respuesta es simple: practicando más que nadie.
Me quedé sin palabras, no sé qué sea.
Back in 2021, an astronomy enthusiast found something that left him completely shocked. He found this massive object moving near Earth's surface from the International Space Station camera. The object had strange wing-like upward flaps on either side of it. Could this be an alien craft or an earthly spaceship sent on a secret mission? The public's questions have remained unanswered, as no one knows for sure. But many people seem to believe it was an extraterrestrial presence near our planet.
Vean eso. Sí tiene un motor abajo.
Lit up. If you're even thinking about traveling to France, you might want to wait a little, because it turns out French skies are becoming a hot spot for unidentified crafts. This was taken a few years ago in a village in Normandy, France. And let's just say, this mystery still hasn't been resolved yet. Folks thought it was just a plane or some sort of satellite, but we've never seen either one of them behave like this. So that theory's in the bin. The only thing believable is that it's some sort of alien craft, but since it happened years ago, chances are whoever was manning that craft might already be living among us, but we've got no clue. Flailing tentacles. Recently, clips of these bizarre-looking things flying in the sky have been going viral. Looking like an octopus with its tentacles flailing in the air. The object just stays in the air. There have been different theories going around, where some think it could be an alien technology, however others entertain the idea of a weird balloon up in the sky. These things hanging out in our skies without any valid explanation is the most creepy thing. Nature's flamethrower. Take a look at what this bright specter does. If its inhumane stature and bright glowing form wasn't unsettling enough, we've got the way it completely obliterates the trees that it comes across. That's a power you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. Talking about which, is it possible it's some creepy supernatural being that's simply wreaking havoc on Earth? But if that were really the case, I wonder why it hasn't appeared over the news yet, or why we aren't seeing more of it. It's also possible this is some sort of airborne flame-throwing contraption, but either way, that's one invention we didn't need. Hilltopia. These Mexican hikers didn't expect they'd run into something extraterrestrial, but as they recorded their hike, in the background, you can see an unusual object floating just over the sandy hills in the back. Now I know, it's easy to chalk it off as just some drone or whatever, but judging by the distance and the size, this has to be something much bigger. The crazier part is how the Mexican government hasn't piped a word about it. Either that means they weren't even able to detect this thing coming in, or we've got much bigger things to worry about.
Sí, güey, ¿ya le metiste zoom con tu phone?
Saucer cloud. Of all the things we have seen till now, this massive saucer cloud is probably the most confusing. Is it really a cloud or a spaceship disguised? There's no telling, as from a distance, nothing can be said for sure. Someone even recorded the cloud moving slowly. Although many sided with the cloud theory, there are still people who think it could be an otherworldly object. Hangman's Parade.
There's another one there. Look at what is that?
A single look, and you'd think this is a scene from one of the Aliens movies, right? But nope, this monstrosity isn't some producer's concoction, as much as we'd hope. Instead, it's somewhere on this very Earth. Now, if you're done retching over it, let's talk about what these obscenely gross things are. Right on cue, we've got many theories about these being actual alien babies. Some even suggested they may have hatched in some secret facility somewhere. But as such theories go, we've also got some who say this is just a couple of barnacles. I don't know what's the consensus, except we can all agree these things are pretty revolting. Moana's spirit. We all know about the ocean and how most of it is unexplored. So just take a moment to think this. What if the ocean is home to more than just sea creatures? Perhaps ethereal beings live in the depths, striking the waves with their every motion. Or maybe the ocean is just mysterious enough to have a couple of tricks up its sleeve. After all, seeing this glowing entity or phenomena is enough to make you wonder about what you don't know. But sometimes mysteries can be solved. Apparently, some parts of the oceans around the world are bioluminescent, thanks to some sort of algae. So every time a dolphin moves through the waves, it activates the bioluminescence. Glow zone. We blame extraterrestrials for a lot of things, but this time, I'm not sure. I mean, if you think about it, seeing a bright green streak in the middle of a random ocean would make anyone confused, especially if it seems like the streak is outlining some sort of path. It is possible this could just be chemicals, but where would the source be? Wouldn't that make a big fuss? And since it really looks like a path, who's it for? Some sort of Navy vessel that's yet to be announced to the world? Or something out of this world? Honestly, I'm stumped.
¿Qué lleva Dani Carvajal en su coche?
Las llaves, por supuesto. Esto se me quedó olvidado de mis tiempos en Alemania. La radio, para cuando no haya mucha cobertura, el saco y una lamparita. Las botas y la camiseta. La tienda, por si me monto una escapadita. Vale, hasta mañana.
¿Y tú? ¿Sabes qué llevarás en tu coche, ok? Alquila, compra o suscríbete y descúbrelo.
Dang, that's smooth. Don't be rough. Be smooth with the Pitbull Skull Shaver. All this in a smoothly shaven head in just 90 seconds. And it rinses just like that. Skull Shaver. Be suave. Be smooth. Be shaven.
Transit bound. There's a theory that says underground tunnels are actually portals that allow people to travel across time and dimension. It sounds like a fad, but in 2018, someone captured this in a tunnel in Medellin, Colombia. Wait for it. And there, see this weird air-like phenomena? We know this isn't the weather acting up, because duh, it's underground. But what on earth is this? Could the theory about portals really be true? If it is, that means we've crossed the chance to travel to different dimensions multiple times, and yet never really known about it. Mystery Flyer.
Find it, there you go. Pick up my camera. Yep.
Many believe the universe is home to unidentified biological species that usually spend their time floating in space. But occasionally, these alien species find their way to Earth and are trapped here. And it looks like that's exactly what's going on here. Captured by confused locals, this mystery creature wasn't just airborne. It seemed like it was trying to finalize its form, as if it wanted to transform into something, but was unable to. Some even wondered if this was an unusually shaped alien spaceship, but this is one mystery that's been left unanswered.
Here, I'll do this, that way you know it's for real. It is for real.
Silky slip.
¿Qué hora?
Well, this looks like an alien creature's taking over the skies. Or maybe some silky entity that's definitely sentient. I mean, the way it's floating in the air does suggest it's got some control over its mobility. But don't worry, I looked into it. This was taken in Faisalabad, Pakistan, a place that's known for its textiles factories. Apparently, one of them ran into trouble and ended up billowing away endless miles of thread, which we're seeing here floating as if it were truly conscious. Open discussion. After something like this took over the skies, the internet was flooded with theories. Netizens were sure some extraterrestrial explosion had rocked the sky. But the more you look, the more you can figure out that's really not the case. Now let's just take a second to understand that anyone would be baffled if they woke up to see the sky like this. They'd probably think something weird's happening, especially if they weren't let on about the truth. But it doesn't take long to figure out it's just a drone show taking place over the skies in China, and one that's apparently pretty fantastic.
Something paranormal, or perhaps something even more terrifying. A real person stalking around the farm in the middle of nowhere in the dead of night. Hanako-san. A group of friends at a high school in Japan hear crying coming from the restroom during their lunch break. Now in Japan there is a famous legend of a girl named Hanako-san. This young girl's spirit is said to haunt restrooms in schools across Japan. The group moves in, all of them a bit hesitant to investigate the source of the creepy sound. Needless to say, it did not go well.
Me han citado como jurado.
El asesinato fue un crimen brutal, perpetrado por un hombre malvado.
Deje que le pregunte algo. ¿Han barajado a algún otro sospechoso?
The girls are just about to leave until they suddenly hear a loud bang and go back for a look. The horrifying, distorted face of a young girl can be seen inside one of the restroom stalls. The group runs in fear, and the video cuts. Now, unfortunately, there's no source to be found for this video. It appeared on the internet as mysteriously as the Japanese legend. So did the girls capture evidence of Hanako-san? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. The 6-year seal. A girl says that she lives in a spooky house that was built in the early 1800s. She says that as long as she can remember, strange, unexplained things have happened around the home, including odd noises and creepy, unexplained footsteps in the middle of the night. Tragically, the girl's mother passed away inside the house under mysterious circumstances. Soon after, the girl's granddad became convinced that there was something evil inside the home. For unknown reasons, her granddad sealed his bedroom shut, hid the key, and left the house, never to return. The old man's room remained locked off for the next 6 years. Then suddenly, one day the key to the room was found just lying in the open on the living room table, with no explanation as to how it got there. One night, the girl and her friends decide to explore the allegedly haunted house, using a spirit box in hopes of getting some kind of answer from the other side. And that's when things take a very unexpected turn.
If there's anybody with us, can you tell us your name? We don't usually tell you your name. In the lottery. Oh, y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. You scared me so bad.
The girl's sister is unaware of what's going on and simply steps out of the shower to go to her room. The group thinks it's a ghost and freaks the out. But things are about to take a much more sinister turn as the three friends finally decide to unlock and explore her granddad's 6-year sealed bedroom.
Oh, it's just a bedroom? Are you going in?
No, I'm getting a bad feeling about this.
I don't feel good. No, I don't.
I just got so lightheaded.
That?
I just got. Corbin, don't be going through this stuff.
I just got so lightheaded. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. I got lightheaded as soon as I walked in here.
Yeah.
You are not welcome here.
Oh, my head's itching. I
If
think
there's
there's
any
lights
spirits
in here.
leave. You are not welcome.
Why is Santa Claus locked up?
That thing's creepy.
Why, Santa, why are you locked up? It could be an object in here.
Yeah.
Did your grandpa ever think about that? Like, it could be an object. You could just burn the whole room. What are you doing in the closet, dude?
Oh, my back's burning.
Is it really?
Bitch, my back's
Do you have
burning.
scratch marks in it? I don't know.
Oh my god!
No, you're kidding.
Stop.
No, get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Scratch marks up your back.
Stop.
No, you do.
Stop. You're giving me anxiety.
Oh my god!
You're kidding, right? You're
No!
The girls are shocked as their friend seems to get scratched by something inside the room.
It took us like 5 minutes to unlock that door. Like, it wouldn't open. We went in and immediately I felt lightheaded. Didn't you say you didn't feel good?
I did not feel good.
Yeah, immediately I felt lightheaded and I was like, okay, weird. But I was just trying to like play it off, you know, like it's not real. He said that his back was burning, and as a joke I was like, oh, imagine if he had scratch marks. And then he had them. And in the video, you obviously can see there was no one near him.
After this terrifying ordeal, the group believes something is very wrong inside that house. They say that they plan on just staying out of that bedroom. But what?
Okay, I've seen this a couple of times, and I'm still confused about what it could be. You see, I initially thought this was a fireball, or even a meteor, but if either one of those had come way too close to the surface, we'd be seeing a much more stronger reaction in the audience than here. Then, I thought it was a hologram, but then again, it wouldn't have disappeared behind the building like that. And if it is something alien, how come everyone's so relaxed? It's like this keeps happening, and they're pretty much used to it. Red cloud. The sky over Bursa, Turkey became the stage for this extraordinary sight. A gigantic red cloud took over and left everyone in shock. Locals thought it looked like a giant saucer spaceship and suggested it could be there to provide a cover for alien activity. But as the clip went viral, someone revealed the truth behind the sight. And it turns out this was a giant lenticular cloud with a red hue to it. Farm lightning. Now, let's take a look at what this farmer saw on his farm. While out to take a look around his fields, he saw suddenly a bright yellow light flash down on the ground, like a spotlight. The light left behind a puff of smoke, and then suddenly disappeared. The clip was claimed to be an alien's attempt on making a crop circle. Netizens thought it might be aliens' way of communicating with us. But as this one right here got caught, so there was no way of proving it was actually extraterrestrial interference. 2 suns. Out on a cruise trip in the open sea, this group saw something that left them completely confused. A giant orange circle shining bright. You might think it's the sun, but wait till the guy pans the camera around, and there it is. The sun's on the other side. Then, what's that giant circle? According to a famous online theory, this could be the second sun, an artificial sun that scientists have been working on. So, do you think it's the result of a scientific experiment, or something far more bizarre was at play here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. NYC UFO.
Yo, it's a UFO.
Residents of NYC looked up to the night sky and saw this, a massive object